Welcome everybody to the top 10 best thriller anime of all time. My name is Misty/Chronexia, and during this Halloween season we're making a crap ton of ancient lists I did a couple of years ago that got devoured by copyrights. Today's menu is thriller, a genre of anime where mystery looms mixed with drama and a bucket load of tension to make you bite your nail down to the matrix. Matrix is the base of your nail, where it grows. Who said we don't learn new things on my channel? It's all I needed to put my video as educational and protect it from demonetization. I think. I don't know, it never works. As usual, 2 entries per slot, so if you've seen one, you have the potential of a save with a backup. Make it a point to take a show lesser known about compared to its first one. Hopefully equally as good, and sharing similar themes, whilst also avoiding duplicate from previous lists I've made. My job is a fucking nightmare. Anyway, how about we kickstart this list? Number 10, Zankyo no Terror. I think whenever someone asks me to recommend a thriller anime, my first thought always goes to Zankyo no Terror, an anime where the premise doesn't necessarily follow the good guys for once. A show where 2 boys who claim to be part of an organization also claims ownership for a terror attack struck upon Japan, and how they claim they will bring even more calamity towards the general public, challenging the police firsthand. It's a really heavy anime if you got the stones for it, high-paced action, but if you've seen it, how about you check out Eden of the East instead? Another story about terrorism, this one happening in America, but with a boy caught in the middle who's being framed for it. If you like a good mystery, this is a rather intricate one for you. Number 9, Perfect Insider. You might have heard me talk about Kubikiri's cycle a few videos ago, or again in the Supernatural Top 10, but they share the exact same premise, so don't worry if you feel like I've already talked about this one. Perfect Insider is about a girl living on an island. She meets people very rarely, but a university teacher and his student manage to meet the girl. When they get there, there's a locked room mystery murder that they have to solve. If this isn't inspiring you, have you seen Box of Goblins instead? A similar story about a serial killer who murders and dismembers schoolgirls to put their parts in boxes. What's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
A private investigator is put on the case, hired by a mother whose girl have mysteriously vanished, a race against the clock to find her before she meets an equally grim doom. Bit more dialogue heavy this one, but detective stuff tends to be more on that. Number 8, The Count of Monte Cristo. Gross, Misty, I'm watching anime to get away from school. Why the heck would I want to watch a show about a book I have to read in literature class? True, it's a bit of a detriment, and in no way should this serve as a replacement if you're thinking about watching the anime instead of reading the book, but if you want to get ahead, that's a very good way to strike up a conversation. Story about a young boy who meets a mysterious nobleman and starts to befriend him. However, the nobleman has more plan in store. It has a very unique art style and is quite well rated all around. If you're looking for something rather unique, perhaps it's for you. If not, try Le Chevalier d'Eon. Same aristocratic French vibe, same thrill feeling, same supernatural mystery ambience. They're made to go hand in hand together. Number 7, Magical Girl Raising Project. Magical Girl Raising Project is an absolute guilty pleasure for me. Bit of a strong word, cause there's no reason to be guilty about it. It's a solid show, but people tend to dismiss it because of the magical girl stigma. So there's this game in one city that nearly every girl plays. It's as close as they have to League of Legends. No, to being a magical girl themselves. Except the game is actually more real than they first thought. When Koyuki gets invited into the game, she realizes it's much darker than just being an outsider to it. Big problem now, the admins kinda wanna reduce the player count. Whoever with the least amount of magical candy is gonna get the axe. You don't wanna get the axe. Good luck. Back up for this one. Alice in Borderland, a very niche OVA anime about 3 guys who witness a firework and end up being transported in Borderland, where everyone is participating in a death game where you must accomplish tasks to survive. Not for the faint hearts, for sure.
これ腐ってるぞアルコールと缶詰はいけるぜ
Number 6, Phantom Requiem for the Phantom. If Count of Monte Cristo was too historical for you, perhaps this one will be more your beat. Phantom is the story of a company called Inferno that has a human weapon called Phantom. Phantom goes and execute orders from Inferno, and that usually involves murder. Except one day a Japanese tourist witnessed Phantom in action and is then captured by Inferno. He gets brainwashed and turned into another puppet of them. Yet he struggles to escape this brand new hell he got himself in. If you're done with it, have you tried Uncharted Walker yet? I know, I'll shut up about this one. It's the last time I bring it up for a while, but come on, it's so good. Yes, it's a Chinese anime, but give them a chance. They do some great work once you're past getting used to the language barrier. A group of people get stranded on an island where there's a virus and some tribe people. Everything is out to get them. It'll have your blood pumping. I really like that one. That was unnecessarily high-pitched. I apologize for that. Number 5, Haibane Renmei. Haibane Renmei is an anime about a society that lives in a strange way. Here everyone has a halo and some gray wings in their back. There is only one rule. Don't go outside the village, and don't come near the giant wall that surrounds it. Don't ask why. Of course, the curiosity simply begins to steer temptation for Raka, a girl who woke up one day without any memory. There's some heavy religious tone on this show, if you couldn't pick up on the Adam and Eve hints, and the more glaringly obvious angel theme. It's a story well worth tackling if you want something a bit heavier. Elsewise, there's always Shigofumi, who's kind of also about angels. In a less drastic sense, Shigofumi is an anime about people dying and leaving behind strong feelings. It's up to Fumika, an angel male maid, to go and deliver those feelings. A bit of a cultural take on the Japanese death lore, but it also has an episodic format for this one where every new one is a different case. Very soul-searching as a whole, if you're into that.
ごめんね。
生まれ変わるほどの
Number 4, Akagi. Playing a game and outwitting your opponent. It has a thrill of its own. Akagi is a very advanced kind of anime. Truthfully, even though I've seen it, I think it's even beyond me. The story is about a teenager who's incredibly gifted at playing mahjong. Real mahjong. Not the version where it's a bunch of tiles dumped in a pile and you gotta find a matching pair. Real mahjong is played a bit like poker, but with a complete set of rules. And the enemy kind of expect you to know how to play when you start the first episode, which I didn't. So Akagi, brilliant kid, goes and play against very strong players. Give it a try if you're feeling up to the task, but honestly it's not gonna appeal to 95% of you. Otherwise, maybe you'd like Shion no O. Similar story about a girl named Shion, who's a shogi player and has a very heavy past. When she was 5 years old, she witnessed her parents get murdered in front of her, and then the murderer challenged her to a game of shogi. Very good show, much more approachable than Akagi, if you ask me.
タレフ
Number 3, Death Note. Everyone knows about Death Note, but I gotta be inclusive in my list, so we gotta cover mainstream titles at some point. Death Note, of course, the biggest, baddest thriller game of cat and mouse between Light, a high school student who one day finds a supernatural book that allows him to kill anyone on sight. He writes his name in the book, versus L, a genius detective who can zero in on any mistakes a culprit can do. Back and forth between these two overly smart kids until only one remains. It's an astonishing piece of media, but you really don't need my sell on this one. Instead, if I can shed the spotlight on a, dare I say, equally good anime about wits play, check out Ultimate Survivor Kaiji, often shunned to the side because of its peculiar art style. You'd hate to throw it away based on that alone. A struggling adult who tries to make ends meet is invited on a boat where they must play a game. Winning will erase all of your debt. Losing, on the other hand, don't worry about that. You're a winner, aren't you?
乗ってしのいで綺麗になって帰ってこい
Number 2, Rainbow. Rainbow is a very heavy anime about a group of teenagers in the mid-50s who have been apprehended on criminal charges and are sent in a special school meant to reform them. That's paraphrasing for a jail. The reality of it is that it's an absolute nightmarish place. They will stripe them away of any human rights that they have left. An absolute gut-wrenching tragedy that really makes you sympathize with the inmates of the incarceration system. Kind of a Shawshank Redemption vibe on it, too. If that doesn't really work for you, you can always go for Here and There and Now and Then that share similar themes. War, fallout of it, and of course the power and corruption that comes along. The show is equally as dark, but it also has some isekai elements and some severe white knighting. Sorry, we call that simping these days. What was wrong with white knighting? It was a very nice term. Why did we have to go and ruin it with simping? And finally, the number one best thriller anime of all time belongs to Banana Fish. I'll admit it, I'm a first offender when it comes down to sleeping on a great anime. And to play devil's advocate, someone could argue in terms of thriller that this is a rather questionable choice, but fuck it! Work with me. Would you rather have a stunning show with a little thriller in it or a mediocre one with a bit more of thrill? So screw that and watch Banana Fish with some Michael Jackson in the background. It will compensate for it. It counts. The story is about Ash, a street rat in New York who gets picked up by Dino, a mafia boss, who gets groomed into becoming one of Dino's henchmen. Now stuck in the middle of a coup, he has to find the source of it, and it all seems to point at his own boss. Give it a shake, it won't let you down. Though, if you've already seen it, the best counterpart I could come up with would be Golko 13. A Japanese response to James Bond, if you would. The manga has been on the run since the 60s, and it's still getting published to this day. Golgo is a trained secret agent that takes on the darkest mission. If no one else will do it, Golgo will. So what'd you think? Did they get the blood pumpkin? Pumpkin. Yeah, that's what I wrote. I swear. If not, don't worry. I have several other lists in the work. Hopefully I can get them all out by Halloween time. Pumpkin. There's at least 4 more I gotta crunch down, so as usual, like, comment, and subscribe to the bell, cause otherwise I'll go back into the abyss and you'll never hear of me again. That's a good incentive, forget that part. That's it, really. I'll get working on the next one. You guys feeling, I don't know, demons? Bit of a rhetorical question, because you can't answer, but it's gonna be demons. Alright, see you in 2-3 days, I guess. Later, chiropractor!
I've been through the hard times, I've been on the wrong side, I've been ashamed. So many memories, you know I'd like to change.